Welcome everyone to number 4, superhero training, with all the amazing goodness that we can share to become the most balanced and, well, maybe it's not balanced, but it's balanced in superfood world, in my opinion. And but what is not balanced in the world is the rest of the food that isn't superfoods. Because I can tell, like, even the cucumber that I just bought, I'm like, I think that's going to be the last cucumber I buy until I can grow some more in, we'll see. But like, once you kind of hit this level of superfood mastery, and the candida has left the body and the parasites have left the body, and all of us here know how much we wouldn't have parasitic people feeding off of us. So the next step is, like, are we allowing parasites, like as little parasites within ourselves, live off of our energy and off of the food that we're eating and all of it. So today I was just kind of going round robin and asking everybody, like, do you want to kind of dive into your own personal transformation in a way that you've never taken it to, like the level that you've never taken it as of yet? So 0 rigidity, but tons of flow and tons of practice. Like, wow, we're going to like really see how many superfoods we can get in us throughout the day. We're going to see what's possible. John, you got what's possible with our alchemy, and really just like getting into a flow so that we can be in a kind of self-care practice that by the time you have somebody that you're talking to, you're just like, I can bring you through this experience with not a glitch at any turn, even if they're constipated to no end. Hopefully that's not the case. And I had the funnest realization the other day. John left me this message, and I'm like, oh, these are like the problems that I have with my builders. He comes on Voxer and he's like, I just don't think there should be a hard line in the sand about this chlorella. And I'm like, oh my God, I love my problems. Like, we're like debating whether we should have chlorella or not. And I'm like, I'm eating like 2 handfuls of chlorella tablets every day. And there's been people even in our team that said they have like chronic constipation their whole life. And then they took the chlorella and they were more constipated. So, and then Kim, our other colon hydrotherapist, is like, yeah, their binder, blah, blah, blah. So it's all a practice. It's your own self practice. And then every body is different. And so let yourself be the first and foremost of what you're sharing, what you're doing. I bet everybody here, by the time you've got your practice really solid, you will be like, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. I'm safe doing all of that. And I'll do my best to walk you through that. Again, like, we'll just get better and better. And of course, like Gina and Sierra, you're not going to be doing the super cleanse, but like, I mean, I know everybody is really fine-tuned already, but again, after 5 years, this is the best I've ever done with the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation as of yet, with the second round of super cleanse. And it's such an amazing practice once you kind of get to this new level of superfood mania, I guess, is like the best thing I could say. But I'm so happy to have Gina here, and Miss Allison is here in person. Yay. And and she's taken on everything. And then Robbie, her partner, fiance, is going to do the super cleanse as well. So I mean, maybe like Gina, you could really walk Kyle through. We have 2 Kyles, right? You're Kyle and Rachel's Kyle, right? 2 Kyles. But yeah, just like walking your partners through really solid and seeing what it's like, and like really learning about their shit too. And then by the time you're ready to do it, you'll kind of have an understanding of what happened with the guys. So
Yeah.
Anyway, but I would love to call on Bethany. I feel like you're ready to like take it to the next level with your superfoods, and you're really leading you're bringing a lot of people through the kits, which is perfect. And the thing is like us doing this, it's not like this has to be some like even rigid way of like getting the superfoods into people. It's like just this practice of every couple hours of resetting their metabolism and stuff like that. And if they need to eat more, if they need to eat less, like whatever the case may be, but it's at least it's a roadmap for them to know what to do with all the food.
Yeah, I just had my first Halloween ever that I didn't eat one piece of candy. And I'm constantly amazed at how the change in my body has allowed just me to feel like I deserve to treat my body better, and that I'm really honoring my vessel now, and realizing that the vibration of my body is so key to how I show up in the world, and like everything that I desire to, or that I know that is what I'm here for, my purpose. And so I just started the super cleanse part of the ULT. So I'm interested. I'm going to get on the colonic table today and do one like at the beginning of the 10 days of the parasites, because I think that could only help to like anything that's adult sitting in the colon right now. I'm going to try to like fast track it out as much as I can, and then killing the parasites over the 10 days. And then I'm going to do one at the end to do that. And then, get the dead and dying out as fast as possible. And I'm interested in the chlorella though, like, okay, I had a question earlier, barley grass, like the barley grass is in the shakes. Like, why would we want to do barley grass greens in addition? Is it just because we're just getting more and more flooding, like more and more?
First of all, congratulations. And Allison says,
I was just saying that you look amazing, and you look like 10 years younger from day one when I first met you on a Zoom call. You just look, you're glowing, like you look beautiful.
Thank you. That.
I think with what you were sharing with the barley green, really I talk a lot about that for the girls, right, with nursing and stuff like that. So you don't have to put more barley greens in your shake by any deal, but John loves extra greens for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, this came up in a group meeting that I was on yesterday with a nutritionist was on there, and she's in this place where she's like, do I follow my body or do I follow the science? And the thing about science is that science tells us what's good for us, but our body has whatever response it has to whatever science tells us and whatever the heck it is that we do. So so for me, I'm 6 months in now. This is like, well, I'm 5.5, is it 5.5? Anyways, about 6 months in. I'm close enough to 6 months in to say that. What I've learned in that period of time is that my ability to discern just from my body's own signals about what feels good and what feels better is way more powerful than it was 3 months ago. For instance, 3 months ago, I only knew that I felt good or bad if I was eating Purium or not eating Purium. Now, today, I can be like, I can wake up in the morning and go like, whoa, I need extra Kamut blend. I need extra green spectrum in my first shake of the day, because there's a certain feeling that happens from using the products over a period of time. So for instance, the serving size for Kamut Blend is 3/4 of a teaspoon, but I use at least 2 teaspoons in a lot of my shakes. But my body is super different from most other human beings. You know, type 1 diabetics are 1%, less than 1% of all diabetics, or maybe it's less than, I can't remember what it is. We're a tiny number compared to the total number of diabetics in the world. But my body is dealing with excess inflammation all of the time. So I've been on 4 biomedics a day for like 5 months. I've finally gone down to the maintenance level of 2, and I'm testing it now to see how does it feel. But at this time, I'm also, like, every single shake that I have, I'm adding like 2 teaspoons of Kamut Blend and sometimes a whole tablespoon of Green Spectrum. That's a 2 teaspoon, like the serving size for Green Spectrum, I believe, is 2 teaspoons. Is that right? I can't remember. So, you know, it's like, I haven't had barley greens yet, but if Bethany, for instance, if you asked me that and you were my client, I would go like, well, how long have you been using barley greens so far? I was like, well, I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it outside of what's already in the shakes. Okay, well, what kind of experiences are you having? And then if there's some stuff that might correlate to some of the possible benefits of barley grass, it's like, well, let's give it a shot and see how you feel with it. Try. And here's the thing where Kimberly's system was very difficult for me to incorporate, because we get this ULT and it's got this, you know, very clear instructions. Then Kim's like, well, take 2 of these over here and 1 over there, and then 2 hours later take this and that and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, whoa, that is a lot of crazy coming at me in terms of like scheduling my body's needs, and I don't need that right now. I just need to feel better. But when you start looking at like try incorporating all of the new things and learning how it makes your body feel over time, then like Kim's like a master technician of this whole system where she can just tweak you. And it's kind of like when I came in, I needed my engine to get an overhaul, but Kim was offering me this opportunity to do the engine overhaul and then tweaking all of the other little parts in there at once. And I just couldn't handle it. It was too much for me, right? So I just did the ULT and it was awesome. Like, it was awesome. And now I'm at this point where I'm actually ready to receive Kim's more expert guidance in terms of, well, start off your day with 2 B energetics, and then later on in the day, take 1. And you know, like take 2 controlled pre-meal capsules and 1 controlled pre-meal capsule later, even though the dosage on the thing says take 2 capsules 3 times a day. Well, I don't eat 3 times a day. And even Kim's like, no, that's way too much, you know? So this kind of like fine-tuning process, it's like, well, add a little bit of barley green into your shake and try it for like a week and see if you feel anything or notice anything different. It's like, how do you know that dark berry and renew hair, skin, and nails works? How long does it take until you know it's working? It's going to take a while, you know, could take 3 weeks before anybody is like, oh, my hair, you know, or oh, my skin or whatever. But it's kind of like this long, like, if we can, the thing that is really, I think, incredible about Kimberly, that, you know, everybody else in the company so far, I don't know if there's been a corporate call lately where Kimberly hasn't gotten a shout out. And everybody's just like, K Club Kimberly K Club Queen. And then she goes on these calls and people are like, how the hell do you do that? What the heck are you doing? And the thing is that if you start off and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get somebody on here and get a ULT and make my business work and all this stuff, that's not how Kimberly sets this person up. She's like, this is a long-term life commitment, and I'm going to guide you through the whole thing for like, I mean, I don't think she ever says 6 months or whatever, but here I am at a moment where if I am Kimberly's customer, I'm at the moment where now I'm naturally coming to her and saying like, so Kim, why do you love I mean, you're taking control pre-meal. Why the heck are you doing that? Because I got them and I don't love them. And she told me about it and I'm like, huh, okay, well, that's good enough for me to give it a shot. And I'm like, but I don't want to add 9 pills to I thought it was 9 capsules or whatever. But, you know, like you saw all these bags I just put in front of you, like most of those are 3 pills a day. So like we're at the 30 pill threshold if I'm going to do a whole control meal deal. Like that's not cool for me. Like I don't like that. But I'm also at a point where when I look at super aminos, I'm like, oh, food. I'm not like, oh, supplemental tablets. And I think that trying to treat like, so the idea that I'm trying to get to anyways is that with like, say you're going to introduce barley grass, the science says, Kimberly said, more calcium. Okay, great. Calcium is one of the problems that human beings have a lot of trouble absorbing right now. We're loaded with non-bioavailable calcium because of all the enrichment and all the processed foods that we've been consuming for most of our lives. And during my hair analysis testing, one of the highest rated minerals that my body was eliminating through my hair is calcium. Why? Because we're consuming all this calcium and our body has no availability to absorb it, okay? So that means there's non-bioavailable calcium in the system, and there's likely lead in the system that's taking the place of calcium. Now, even if you start doing like fulvic zeolite, which is I've been doing, not perfect for a while, but I've been doing it to pull out the heavy metals, your body's not just going to all of a sudden go, oh, I'm giving up all my lead. You know, they're going to wait, and it's going to wait until not only is it safe to let go of the lead, but that it's got enough calcium to replace it with. So your body is way more intelligent than any nutritionist will ever be, you know, unless they become enlightened, you know. So it's like, part of that calcium bioavailable benefit is that your body won't start to release certain toxins until it's got the right thing to replace it with. So if you've got things like mercury fillings in your teeth, or you've been exposed to you know, contaminants from one thing or another, which we all have throughout our entire lives, you know, this is going to be a long, probably years long process of releasing stuff. So that's the perspective that I look at, like when I'm like, okay, so what does barley greens do for me? It's like, give it a shot, see how it goes for 30 days. And then once you've like, you know, like decided, or you've begun to experience, oh, when I have the barley green grass, it makes me feel a little bit like this, and I like that. For instance, I love the Revive It All. It's pretty awesome. But now I've had it, I've got to have some time where I don't have it, because I don't know what the freaking difference is. So I don't know if it's right for my body, and I don't want to just run around going like, more superfoods, when I don't have any experience of what it is, like just trying to flood my body with every superfood on the planet. We can get there are moments where that's going to be something that I will probably want in the future. But I don't want to do it in a way where it's like, well, somebody else told me that Revive It All is great for me, you know? But I'll tell you what, the other day I was at a stoplight and I was 3 lanes over and I had to get into an exit lane on the right. We're sitting at the stoplight, and like, I'm like a freaking pro racer, drag racer. Like when the green, like I wasn't hardly paying attention. I knew I had to like get ahead of this. I was first in line, by the way. I knew I had to get ahead of the cars that were to my right. The green light changed and I was like, zing, like I didn't like take off super fast, but my reaction time was so fast. I was like, whoa. Anyways, that's my story on that stuff. So I just feel like this question of science versus body, I mean, we're not going to know what the heck our body wants for probably at least 90 days into our journey. And so the same is true for the customers. And what's beautiful about Kimberly's system is that she creates a level of trust where her customers are just like, okay, Kim, tell me anything to do and I'll just do whatever you say. And that has everything to do with why she's always talking about pre-pave with this, pre-pave with that, pre-pave with this, pre-pave with that. It's because if the person isn't prepared to follow our lead, they're going to have a hard time doing it. And for me, I also have to be aware of where am I at on my own journey with these superfoods. Like I just now feel like, okay, I can understand what's happening in my body when I'm using Super Life, rather than just saying, well, somebody told me Super Life will do this and this to me. And I may have a different way than somebody else. Like I am so body dependent that I can't speak intelligently or convincingly about something unless I feel it in my body. So I can share stuff with people from my brain and I might be able to convince them to do it, but am I going to be able to convince them to be consistent with it and committed to it? I doubt it. So, that commitment level, why does Kimberly have 10K without even blinking an eye? Because she's got people who are committed to the process that she shared. And sharing that commitment is about having it in your body and being able to do the thing that you're suggesting. So it's like, if you haven't found your why behind barley grass, you need to figure it out. It's just like with our business. Every month we go back and we figure out what our why is and we hone it and we fine tune it and we move forward with it. But if we don't have a why behind barley, I haven't mentioned barley grass to one single human being. Why? Because I don't have a why with it yet. And I'm not breastfeeding.
Amazing, John. And he just reiterated why I'm saying, like, let's see what we are capable of. Let's see what we love, and little bit by little bit. It's not like, oh my God, you have to buy crazy things, but what we all see so clearly is what we're doing ourselves, we can usually sell. Like Gina's saying, like, I suggest it to everyone because it's literally the best thing ever for mother's milk and for babies. And my whole thing is like, well, if it's good enough for babies, why are we thinking that we wouldn't want it too? Mm-hmm. All of it, like all of the things that a mother is doing, like why is anything different in our lives when we're not pregnant or when we're not nursing? I get you get to cleanse a little bit more, but like why would you start smoking cigarettes again? Why would we start drinking alcohol again? If the baby can't have it, why are we thinking that we need it? So anyway, Gina, do you want to share? How are you feeling? And I'd love to know your daily practice. I know you have a really solid one, but like, I'd love to have your eyes kind of see where you'd like to up level and like take this November to a total like ultimate lifestyle transformation in your own mamahood way.
Yeah. So my family has COVID right now. Somehow I've managed to dodge it. I feel pretty good. I feel like it's kind of trying to get me, but I really do believe that my self-care system and being on these superfoods now for, gosh, how long have I been on them now? I think it's almost been like 8 or 9 months. I got to look into it, but My daily schedule is, so I used to suck at taking supplements. Like I could never stick with anything. I was not disciplined. I hated taking vitamins. It's just something that I've never been into. And I have been consistent since I started, which I surprised myself, and I'm so grateful because I believe in it so much and I feel the difference. And so um, I, I always take 10 aminos when I wake up. And then of course the Biomedic and the Zinc Aid have been a part of my practice for a long time. And I did do the collagen pack. And so I've been on that for 17 days. And I do the vitamin C as well. That is something I was taking vitamin C when I was pregnant, and it was the camu camu. It was just a powder, and so that really made a difference in my pregnancy. So I just kept with that throughout breastfeeding, and then I always have. I mean, I'm obsessed with the shakes. I probably sometimes I drink like 4 shakes a day. And I always change it up. And I've been like that since I started. Like the first time I had the power shake, I think I drank like 4 that day. And then I just kept doing that because I cannot run out of the power shake, because that one, I don't know, that's just my go-to. And then I really hulk that one out. And so my go-to is the power shake, the rice bran solubles, the carrot juice plus, the barley greens, and the chlorella. And so that is my main, I have that drink every single day. That's my favorite drink. And that one makes me feel the best. And I noticed a huge increase in my milk production. And so, I've done a lot of research on the barley greens. And I mean, not only does it have calcium, but it has folate and iron. And I mean, it's just incredible and way better than eating spinach, everything. And so I definitely recommend that one for mamas and pregnant mamas and breastfeeding mamas for sure. Because I noticed a huge difference in my energy levels and my milk production. And sometimes I'll have the barley greens just by itself. It's actually really good by itself. And I crave that because I don't always want sweet. I'm like a real earthy girl. And so I just like a good like green, drink. And then I do the Epigenius Kids, and I do that one probably every day too. And I do that with Avery because that's like our little ritual after school that we drink that together. And we usually add a banana to that and some frozen fruit and make it fun. And what else do I do? And then so I try to take, I'm going to say like 15 to 20 aminos a day. What else do I do? I have the MVP Family, which I love. I have the MVP Sport Vanilla, which I love. After I work out, I drink that. Now this new dark berry protein I'm obsessed with. And I think that's all I can take. I can't do the super xanthan yet. Oh, and I just started the Can't Beat This. I was like, I'm just going to try it out because I've never been into caffeine. I get really jittery and anxious. And I just do a tiny bit of Can't Beat This. And I love that recipe that Dave created. I think it's called For the Power of Love or something. And so it's the Power Shake, the Super Meal, and the Can't Beat This. Oh my gosh, that's so bomb. I love that drink. So I just started that one. Can't Beat the Power of Love. Yeah. So the Can't Beat This actually makes me feel really good. I can't have too much. One time I overdid it and I got a little wiggy. I was like, oh shit, this is too much. So I just need a tiny bit of Can't Beat This. And then I did try the Aloe Digest. I got it for Kyle and I just did a tiny bit because I just wanted to try it so bad. And it's supposed to dry out the milk, but I haven't noticed a difference in that because I just do a tiny bit every now and then. And of course the BioFruit I add to my protein drinks, and the Cocoa Hydrate. I like Cocoa Hydrate, BioFruit, and what is the other one I mixed it with? I think it's rice bran solubles. I do like my own little mixture with that one. So yeah, I think I've tried a lot of things. I haven't tried the Kamut. I do the green spectrum with the barley green sometimes as well. So I'm obsessed with everything. So I think how I can up level my what I'm already doing is now just being more mindful of what I'm actually like eating and consuming, because I think I need to do the parasite cleanse. I think I may have parasites, but I can't do it yet because I'm nursing, because I do crave sweet stuff, but I try to do like dates and coconut sugar. I don't do any refined sugar, lots of fruit. And so I still love to bake. I'm a baker and I'm always baking. So I just try to do like good organic, coconut flour, almond flour, and just use maple syrup or coconut sugar. But that's my weak spot. Like I love to bake and I love like cookies and breads and all that, but so do my kids and my family. So I think I could maybe cut back on that a little bit. I think I've been indulging a little bit with that. And yeah, everything else is good. No soda, no alcohol, no refined sugar. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing, but of course I can make improvements. And I eat a lot. And I don't know if you eat a lot, Allison, but I am just ravenous because I'm growing another human being and he's a little chunker and he nurses a lot. And so I eat a lot of food and I drink a lot of shakes, but that's just where I'm at right now. I feel good in my body. I don't feel like like I'm carrying too much weight. So yeah, that's my whole deal. So thanks for listening.
That's amazing. And yes, you should be eating for two. So that's so incredible. And, all of that being said is you have so many tools to be able to build a really solid order for people, and just being like, this is how I live. I want to take you down this road of pure ecstasy of doing this for yourself. And, yes, I'm not doing the super cleanse yet, which you don't even have to tell people. Like you don't have to tell people that, because you can be like, this is your plan, ease into it. Like there's no rules for the first, like your first month is a wash. If you can do what I say, kind of it for the month, great. Your second month, that's maybe when you're kind of like, okay, I kind of got a little bit of this idea of this crazy eating style under my belt. By month 3, oh my gosh, I am ready. I am here. I'm all of it. But honestly, most of my people don't need that long. Like they're like, I'm doing it. They might not. And then like one of my ladies, she's like, I fell off a little. I cheated a little. And I'm like, how can we just help people not feel like they're cheating, not like they're failing? Like, the rigidity of humans is beyond belief. And you might think how I'm setting people up with the food is too rigid or something, but at the same time it's like, no, these are just this is your flow. Because if you don't spell it out for people, even your lady, John, she's like messaging on my wall, I need you to spell it out for me. I'm like, here it is, here it is. Then it's like, so spell it out for people. They're not going to do it 100% anyway, which is fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they do it 100% in any way. The older woman, like Rose or something like that, I'll find it later, but I wanted to have Allison share, because she was just like agreeing with everything that Gina said. And so again, why I love all of our recordings, all of our Wednesday, stories. And we're not having a Wednesday call every single Wednesday right now until we have another builder come in and tell our stories. And so maybe what I'll do on the Wellness Warriors thread is put a replay of old stories that we have, if anyone wants to take that time. But I think that's what we would be really, really smart to do with the time frame. If you want to utilize that time for a 30-minute something for yourself for learning, then you can watch the replay or whatever. And like the company right now is letting everybody have points to go in and look at stories, but we have our own stories. We have our own team stories. Yes, go and do the post too, but like until we have another builder that's ready to do their launch thing, I'm not going to do a Wednesday call where it's just like 4 of us coming together doing the same call over and over and over again. That might be looked at bad in other teams, but we're refining, and I'm always looking at seeing what's been working and all of it. So let's keep our Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, either for watching a replay that you want to learn about, the teammates and hear the stories and all of that, or even like going into the recordings of what Dave has done or Amy has done, just trying to find like your favorite stories of people in the company. And then when we have another builder that's ready to come in, then we can do it, unless any of you want to spearhead Wednesday nights with me. And I'm not the only one just holding the ball, or John or Barry, because I need more people. So we'll kind of see what's going on. Gina, tell us the story.
Yeah, I just wanted to share really quick. I had a huge block on suggesting things that I haven't tried, but I feel like I'm getting over that. Like how John was saying, like you have to kind of embody it and feel it in your body, and I was having a hard time with like the juice bar in a bag, because that wasn't something that I purchased, with the ULT for mamas, because it has a super cleanse in it. But my last customer, I felt so confident, and she did get the ULT plus immune customizable, and then the juice bar in a bag and the ionic elements, which I take that too. I forgot about that. And so this is my first time working with somebody with all of these products, and it's going great. And I just wanted to share that because I used what Kim created, but then I kind of made it my own, because I'm like, okay, well, I don't really do it that way. Kim does it that way, which is great, but I do it this way. Then I'm just going to share it because it feels more authentic to share how I do it. And then she can choose how she wants to do it, but it's going really good. And so now I'm feeling more confident in these big orders and guiding people through it, but it didn't happen right away. I had to really learn. I think it's been seeing everybody else, witnessing how they teach it and what they're doing in their life, and going to Kim's house and being a part of, her energy. It all really made a difference. And so I just wanted to share that. And I'm really good getting over that block too, of seeing people as small. Like I'm just seeing everybody as big and prosperous and abundant, and that, and that was my issue before, is I was seeing myself as small. And so I was seeing everybody else as small. Like, well, I can't afford it, so they're not going to be able to afford it. But I'm just wanted to share that's shifting, and I'm just celebrating that today, because I really am noticing a lot of shifts in my consciousness, not only from the superfoods, but from the alchemies, and just from being in this conscious community. And so I just wanted to celebrate, because it feels really good. So thanks for letting me share that really quick.
That's amazing. And it's true. Like that's exactly what happens for all of us. It'll happen for all of us as much as we can just keep, clearing all of those old patterns and any type of, belief systems on our own. And I watch everybody go through it. And even myself, Allison helped me sell the plus immune, like plus zinc. And now every single person gets the immune. So nobody gets just a plain ULT or a customizable ULT, but I know Allison wanted to share too.
Oh yeah. So kind of like John, I just started out with a ULT, and obviously minus the super cleanse because I'm nursing. But after realizing, oh, we have this, and this that I would like to implement into my practice. And it just started out with like a few things here and there, starting off with the barley greens, the rice bran solubles. And I think it was like the carrot and maybe the ionic elements that I first got after my ULT. And the barley greens made a huge difference in my milk supply. That was like amazing for me. The ionic elements, I could tell an immediate difference from when I came here to visit in July. I did not bring my ionic elements with me, and I could tell the difference, especially with the altitude change and everything, and requiring those minerals and not having them. I could see a difference in my energy levels and my sleep because of the magnesium and everything. And the rice bran solubles make everything super creamy. And I just read an amazing article about the benefits of rice bran solubles. The carrots, it's good for your skin, but like Gina, I have like all these different things and I make a different combination every day, but pretty much my go-to shake in the morning after my aminos is Power Shake, rice bran solubles, carrot, kamut, barley, and ionic elements. And then my zinc aid. And now I've got the hair, skin, and nails and the dark berry protein. But I would seriously, like some days I will drink like 4 shakes a day because I'll have a protein and I get extremely hungry and I'm still like dropping weight. Like I'm beating another person. So I need the calories and I definitely need the food, and the extra calories from Purium help me get that food in me as well and have all of the nutrition as well. So but I'm like sprinkling these little things in here and there. Like the zinc aid was a new one that I started using, and have not been sick since the very beginning of my Purium journey when I had COVID. I feel amazing. My son hasn't gotten sick either. What else? All of the coffee shop proteins I'm obsessed with. I used to drink like at least 2 cups of coffee a day, which I'm sure was like hard on my child, and it was hard on my adrenals for sure. And I noticed the difference if I drink the coffee protein instead of a just regular cup of coffee. Huge difference. I don't get all jittery. I don't get irritable. I don't crash later in the day and feel like I need more. The matcha protein, amazing. And then Robbie kind of has his little system fine-tuned now too, where he's doing like another transformation right now. So he's doing 2 shakes a day at least, and then dinner at night. And he has kind of figured out what he likes and what he doesn't like. It's like John was saying, like our bodies kind of start understanding. Like I'll go to my cabinet and sometimes I'll make my regular go-to shake, but sometimes I'll be like, I'll put a scoop of dark berry in there, or I'll put a scoop of biofruit in there today, or whatever I'm really like feeling. Like with the currents, you kind of get to this point where with your muscle testing where you're like, you already know the number you need, and your body is like, yep, and boom, there you have it. And it's the same thing with like looking at my Purium stuff. I just kind of grab whatever I'm feeling and whatever I feel like my body needs. Like some days I don't do the barley greens, some days I do. Some days I add extra green spectrum, or I add, I just mix it up based on what I'm feeling and what I really feel like my body needs. If I'm extra hungry, I do more protein in there, or I'll add some frozen berries into my shake every once in a while too. So it's really gotten to the point where I'm like, I know exactly what I need and when I need it, and I don't have to have it in my calendar like I did before. It just kind of is ingrained now. Like in the muscle testing, it's the same idea. It's just like, okay, morning time, I wake up, do my aminos and a bunch of water, wait a little while, shake, have more aminos later in the afternoon, and I still eat like I have to, like Gina was saying. I'm like hungry, and I know I need a parasite cleanse too, but I think we're getting almost to that point where I'm ready to start weaning coal, because I'm like, I want my body back for myself. And it's been a lovely 2 years, but it's at that point where we're ready, I think. So hopefully I'll be having some super cleanse soon and do the whole transformation. But how I can up level is I can really fine tune, like Gina was saying too, like what I'm eating outside of Purium, and really be more conscientious about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just all that we're doing. We're just this big experiment on our own, and everyone's doing amazing. Look at these amazing stories. I want to have space for Nancy. How are you feeling? It's your birthday. I know that. Are you taking on the ultimate lifestyle transformation this month as well?
I'm always on the ULTs.
I know.
I mean, literally, it's been a year and a half, although since you guys have welcomed me in, I've like reset my business. So I've started from like scratch. But I suffer from extreme eating disorders up and down. I used to my whole life. And so since I found the ULT has been a godsend, because I am like you guys, I'm craving that power shake like a monkey with a banana. I mean, it's just crazy. But we're gonna do the 10-day. We've never done the 10-day, haven't been extreme. I do drink a lot of coffee. I saw you guys, I was like, I'm just gonna confess that I drink a lot of coffee. I grew up in a salon, like my first bottle was black coffee. Come on now. But we've cut down to 4 cups of coffee a day. And when we do the 10-day, we're going to do it November 7th. And we have promised each other, because my husband also was in the hair industry for 40 years. We're going to do 1 cup and then that's it. So, and I said, I can do anything for 10 days. So, and my hope is at the end of that 10 days that I will also not have coffee, because it's a love-hate relationship. I've also had ulcers since I was like 11, because I used to be an extreme stress bucket. And so it's like, I drink my coffee and then I go have some Aloe Digest. So I'm really working on that. I quit smoking 5 years ago. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I actually just got my currents. And John, last night I told you I got home and my little birthday present was at my door waiting for me. So I can't wait to get into this alchemy. I really need to learn about it first. But really it's more of the mindset and really delving into that whole, like I've been doing, I got the ionic elements after watching you guys and just really adding more myself. So it's been really fun, like watching all of your little things. Like you guys are just the sweetest little mamas. Can't wait to see what your light workers do with this world. And you know, with John and the alchemy, I really think that's going to up level my business aura as well as my soulful one. So
I love it. Yeah. And you know, it took me years. I never had coffee at home really. But the only 2 places that I would drive, one time I had to stop going to the one coffee place because I backed into a pole with my car. So that was like the one universe, like, you can't go there. And then I found this other place that was pretty good, but I would have that Oatly milk in there and it is so not good. And luckily the last time I went to that coffee place, it tasted like an ashtray and I poured it out. And I haven't gone back and I'm so thankful. So like the biggest thing with all of this for us and our clients and everybody, it's like, just keep doing the thing until, like Bethany says, it's like the record player is going so fast. When you throw whatever that thing is, it just gets lifted right off of it. And as long as we don't have any guilt or shame, and like, I feel like that is the ultimate for 99% of the people in this work of like letting go of guilt, shame, and judgment, and the whole thing of what we're putting in our mouths. But I think once you get the candida out of the system as much as possible on a certain level, then the mouth isn't going to be as in charge. And then I'm loving how much we're all tuning into this body thing. And like yesterday, it's like, I just hear Olivia Newton-John singing, let you hear your body talk, your body talk. And so it's like, yeah, our bodies, like once we get them, and there's just going to be this click of a level of what do we want to be putting in them so that they can be the loudest they've ever been talking to us about all the information that we need to hear. Like we're muscle testing everything because our body knows what's up. That's so powerful. And our skin is the biggest organ. So like we've just got this huge body leading us, telling us what to do all the time. If we can alleviate most of the toxins and be able to tune in to what is for our highest good. And that's next level to me. And that's not going to be available for people for quite some time. So you know, lay it all out there, see what they can do. And luckily everyone on this call is really dialing it in to what would be like a really cool journey of food. You know, when you look at it as a journey of food, we are the chef. Like we're being our client chefs, and how many fun recipes and yummy things can we make for them so that it's a longevity of doing this. And to me, that's like total superhero. We're at the end of the hour, so I could stop this, but I know that and Bethany wanted to know some things, which is great because I'll stop the recording. But also, John, did you want to speak for a couple minutes on the alchemy for a couple?
If I could, I was going to ask Nancy and Bethany if they have time right now, if they just want to stick around for like maybe 10 minutes.
We can just,
I have
mean,
multiple
yeah.
things happening at the moment.
you have you're going to talk alchemy though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to keep the recording going, and if you want to turn it off.
And I was also curious, Nancy, have you tried the coffee protein yet?
I did try that. And what I do is in the afternoon, I substitute 1 cup of my coffee with that.
Yeah.
So I am slowly
Yeah.
leaning into that. I do love the chai protein.
Oh, cool.
I do love that. So I'm trying to make it, because to me, it's more emotional. It's a thing of, it's what my father and I used to do all day long. And before we went to bed, we would sit and have coffee and discuss the day and clients. So it's that switching of that emotional being like, it's okay. I can still have that. So it's like, you know, but yes, I am. Thank you so much.
No, that's beautiful, because one of the like this whole conversation of like, how do we up level? The whole emotional body aspect of our connection with food actually plays a much larger part on our experience than we will often give it credit for. And the alchemies really assist with the processing of that emotional body. And Allison, I know Allison started with currents and lumen, right? And Allison, I just love to start off with, if you're willing to just share a little bit about your experience with those, if you can. Does Kimberly have, oh, you haven't taken it yet. Oh, Kimberly hasn't. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
That was me typing in there.
Yeah.
So I have been taking the currents. I haven't started the lumen yet, just because I feel it's right to finish the currents first.
Got it.
Taking that next step. But I've noticed a huge shift in kind of like Gina, like everything Gina said. I was like, yes, all of it, yes. And just feeling a shift in my consciousness, in my mindset, in like transformations happening in my life in other areas. Like I've been wanting to move back to Colorado since before Cole was even a twinkle in my eye, you know, like I was like ready to move here. And then I got pregnant with him, pandemic and all these other things happened where it just wasn't the right timing. And it was really up to like with Robbie's work, what was going on with his work, and it started slowing down, and all these other factors happened with my family as well, where it was just like, okay, we're moving to Colorado in like 2 weeks, and we're able to like really hone in on our financial aspect of life right now. And we have help, community village style help with our family and Cole, which we haven't had ever. So it's really just like a breath of fresh air for me. And I feel a lot more aligned with where I am physically and how I can share Pure and be who I really am. Because when I'm in California, like talking to these people I hardly even know, I'm like, I don't feel like myself. And when I don't feel like myself as a projector, or I don't have that invitation already, I'm like not in alignment at all. And I don't feel like it's right for me. So here, I just feel like I'm in the right place. I have the, the help I need with Cole and with everything. And I just feel like all of this love around me, that's the really true abundance for me right now. And I feel it all like opening. So it was just really, it's crazy how fast that happened. Like within days of like taking currents, it was like insane. Actually, I think it was the first day I took it. I got a phone call about something that happened in my family, and I was like, we might have to be going back there soon, and enough, just one thing after the other. And here we are.
Yeah, I want to definitely speak to what you're sharing about in the understanding of currents, because when we look at it, we're like, ooh, financial realignment. We're like, oh, great. Finally, my money problems are going to be solved. And the thing that I want to share about it is that the title gives you the key to the transformation of consciousness. It's about currents, flow. And currents is actually one of the most powerful alchemies that is offered through the website. However, it also happens to be suitable for anyone at any level of their entrance to this level of alchemical journeying. So the things like, for Allison, did she win the lottery and get a bunch of money sent to her? Well, not exactly, but what she feels connected to life force through, that's what showed up. Moving back to Colorado, which has been suppressed within her because of the circumstances, which I'm sure were important for whatever reason, But once the alchemy starts working on you, anything that is suppressed inside you that is in resonance with your life force is going to start to get released, meaning the blockages that are preventing the expression of that life force are going to be moved away. So when we're taking currents, it's totally okay to say, man, I really need $10,000 at the end of the month or by the end of the month or whatever. However, understand that that is not how currents works. Currents works to support your life, just like money does. Money supports your life. Money is not what life is about. It's about stepping into a flow of life. And when you have a flow of money, that supports your flow of life. And so naturally, money is just a side effect of taking the currents. What you want to focus on, which is a more powerful focus than just money, is being in the flow of life force. And so many, everyone here is already in that because we're all with Purium. Gina, your connection with your clients and your baby and your body in relationship to everything, that's all your life force, like the stuff that makes you feel good. And when you take currents, it's just going to get bigger. So oftentimes what will happen is that there's going to be an edge that you have never expanded beyond. When you expand beyond it, you're going to know, because there's going to be a flow of energy that happens in your experience that makes you go, whoa, this feels like a lot. When that happens, just take a breath and let your system recalibrate to what is flowing. That's what happened to me during my fast start. It was like all this stuff just kind of went whoosh. But I was already in about 5 months to my alchemies at that point. So when that started happening for me, I got to a moment where I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. This feels like way more than I'm capable of doing. And I just remembered, oh, this is way more than I've ever done before. And that's all. So the person that I was that wasn't capable of doing more, that person doesn't exist anymore, because it's a new day today. And I'm having a new experience, and I'm experiencing that flow. So that's kind of my monologue on the currents. Bethany, I wanted to just ask you about your questions around it. I don't, if there's something that you had in your mind or something like that.
I was just going to ask for your advice on what the next step would be after currents, because I had the currents, but I haven't purchased anything else. So I
Right.
was just looking for some suggestion or guidance on that.
Beautiful. So the best way to do this is kind of the way Allison was talking about her superfoods, and she connected it to using the alchemies. First of all, get with your muscle testing if you haven't done that before. I have a video on it. You can watch it, do it. There's another video about a 20-minute video on alchemies. If you don't have that, we can send it to you. Same for you, Nancy. They're recommended. So my recommendation is go to the Blue Emerald Alchemy website and explore. You don't have to read everything. There's so much stuff on there. It'll be hours. I spent hours on it the first time I went there. Okay. Because I knew this was for me and it was important for me, my path, because I could experience the frequency. So there's an introductory set, none of which includes currents. Those are origin, lumen, I phase, and phasics. Those go in stages that allow your various bodies, your physical, emotional, mental, and energy bodies to become accustomed to receiving the higher frequency flow of information that is constantly available to you from your greater being. Now, a lot of people talk about higher self. And when we think about that concept from our in-body experience, we're thinking of another version of our own self, which is just kind of bigger and better. This is not what it is. This is why partly, and I hope this is okay to share, Kimberly, that medicine journeys are part of this process of consciousness expansion. And when Kimberly and I have talked about it, why she's so dedicated to it, because it gives you a different perspective about what is actually the self. I've had the opportunity through a medicine journey to experience the self as a galactic being, not as a human body in a small locality. In fact, during the time when I regained access to my physical body, I was watching my physical body and the entire complex of my consciousness that I generally operate with, and I was kind of laughing at how tiny it was. It was like so minuscule in comparison to what I was accessing in that moment of my consciousness. It just kind of, it was humorous that we live these lives and we're so involved in the dramas of our own life when it's so tiny. What that also means is that as an incarnate being through this body, we also have access to that massive level of consciousness that we can bring here. So in order to attune to that, like let's say each of us had an electrical plug that powered our bodies. And most of the time what we're doing is we're plugging it into Purium foods, and it's like feeding us the stuff. If you just go straight away and you take your plug and you plug it into the sun, you're going to blow up. You will. You're just going to incinerate. Boom, done. At least this aspect of you will. So these stages of alchemy are about bringing all of the various bodies of your being into relationships so that you can bring more of that massive being that you are into your experience here. Everybody's at a different point on their own path in terms of doing that. Origin, lumen, iphase, phasix. I started with iphase. That's stage 3. Some people start with lumen. That's stage 2. A lot of people start with origin, stage 1. I don't necessarily recommend phasix, stage 4, unless you are a high-level adept in the mystery schools and you have done like some seriously beyond spiritual work in this particular lifetime. Not because it's bad for you, but because it just won't do anything. Phasix does not work with your physical body. It works with higher realms. So when you go to the website, there's 4 stages. Use your muscle testing to understand where the right place to start is. If you use the muscle testing method that I suggest, it is my highest good to order origin and begin using it today. This is how you create an affirmative statement. You never ask questions, because the vibrational response from a question is also uncertainty. It's just going to mirror back to you your own uncertainty. Okay, so you always create affirmative statements. You will have responses to various different alchemies, and you may find that those 4 don't feel right. When you read through them, you'll go like, nah, I don't really feel like that. Nah, I don't really feel like that. I took iphase for 3 months before I moved on to phasix. After taking phasix for almost 3 months, about 2.5, I moved on to lumen, step 2. Lumen is extraordinarily powerful. Like, I can feel it doing stuff in my experience that is incredibly, it's like, it's unexplainable. So don't get hung up on the, I'm at level 1, I'm at level 4. Don't get hung up on that stuff, because it's bullshit. It's not real. The alchemist himself takes origin every day because he's like, this shit is so powerful. That's like what he's doing right now. He doesn't take the high level ones. He does high level. Okay. We have this idea about being a beginner and being advanced and all of this stuff. And there's just no way for us to understand what it is we're talking about without these structures of hierarchy, but they're not real. They're illusions. So if you go in there and it says like, start with origin, do not connect it to a judgment about yourself of like, oh, I'm a beginner. That isn't real. This stuff is extraordinary. Like I said, currents is one of the most powerful alchemies offered on the website. The only one that is at the same level is called psionics. And psionics has a warning with it that it's potentially psychedelic in nature, because it may release, you may have a DMT release from using it. So, I mean, go on there, explore the various alchemies, follow your intuition, read and connect with what resonates. And, you know, when you find that, then get back with me and let me know so that you can have your discount on the stuff. And I'll share with you that there are, if this is a pathway that you really want to invest in. For instance, I have someone in Canada, she bought like, I don't know, more than a dozen bottles at once. So I gave her a higher level discount than I can offer from the 1x1s, and so for any order that you make, you guys get 10% off. If you want to get 3 bottles or more, you get free shipping. Okay, shipping in the United States is $9 flat rate, unless you're ordering like 6 bottles or more, and then it's 10. It's just USPS. If you want to order 6 bottles or more, I'll give you 25% off and free shipping. So that's what I want to share about about what we're doing here. I want to make sure that everybody has access to what they need. Go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, I just wanted to share really quick. I was just laughing about the currents. And so, like you were saying, it doesn't always just come in money. And first of all, I feel this expansion in my ability to love and care for my family. Like there was a point where I felt like I didn't have any more to give. Like I felt like I was depleted and I was giving so much to my family. Now it's overflowing. But the other funny thing that happened is we had an abundance of apples come to us. Like this was ridiculous amount of apples. Like I literally probably had like 40 bags of apples. And so our neighbor has an apple tree. They didn't let anybody else go over but us and go pick these apples. We picked them, and I mean, we're giving them away. But I was just like, wow, like that's never happened. And we've lived in this neighborhood for 8 years, and I didn't even know that tree had apples. And so that was kind of funny and silly, but like, oh my gosh, like that, talk about, prosperity
Yes.
and fruit, and it just like show if that was like the physical evidence coming in. And then I wanted to share really quick. So my mind wanted the lumen. Like I was like, no, like I resonate with this lumen. Like my brain was like, no, I want this lumen. And I kept doing the muscle testing, and it was like, no, the origin. And I was kind of like, no, I don't want the origin. I want the lumen. And I had to just go with it. And so the origin is what, was my muscle testing was pointing to the origin. And so I went with it, but I just thought it was kind of funny because, yeah, it's amazing our bodies, how they, tell us what we really need, because again, my brain wanted something completely different, but I just wanted to share real quick.
That's so beautiful, Gina. Thank you so much for sharing that. And the reason that share is so incredibly valuable is because our cells are connected to the same level of intelligence as that greater being that we are just a small aspect of. The problem is that intelligence is totally unconscious. It only exists at the physical level. It also exists at every other layer of our being, but our mind-body structure is not capable of accessing that level of intelligence for most human beings on the planet ever. But, at this point in our human evolution, we are moving to a stage of human evolution where that level of intelligence will be our natural knowingness. I don't believe that will happen for a very long time, and probably not in our lifetimes. But the fact that we now are having this, I don't know if I want to call it yet an explosion, but Purium babies coming into the world, this is a sign that the human evolution is about to take a jump in what is possible, because the more well-being that exists within the whole harmonic structure of our internal being, the more access we're going to have to those higher layers. And so when that higher layer, that higher intelligence looks at prosperity, and thank you, Gina, for using that word, it looks at prosperity. It doesn't care if it comes in the form of a dollar bill or 40 apples or a slew of opportunities that fill your soul with bright joy, brightness and joy. This is all prosperity to us from this higher level of our being. Does not give a shit about dollars and cents. However, if dollars and cents will support that flow more powerfully, then it will come to us. So, and the other thing too is that intelligence of the cells is sometimes in contrast to the intelligence of our minds. And being aware of that is very, very important. That you say, ooh, I love the lumen. Don't worry, it's coming. And trust your higher being. It knows what you need. Our brains don't know what we need. That's why Purium is so amazing for all of us, because we come to Purium and our bodies, our higher intelligence is just like this, do that. Like Stop doing the nonsense with whatever things that you were doing before, whether it's cigarettes or coffee or McDonald's or beer or alcohol or whatever. The higher intelligence will guide you. And once you get the alchemies, you can really trust in them. I have several of the, right now, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going through a process of some of the higher level alchemies right now, and they're like slamming me right now. This is called Sembria. A lot of people are going to look at this on the website and you're going to love it with your brain. If you do love it and you get a muscle test confirmation with it, get it. If you do not get a muscle test confirmation on it, do not be worried. It's coming for you, but not yet. Okay. This is Sri Yantra. This itty bitty little, you can see my finger, how tiny these are. Like I'm literally talking about my regular dose with, I only get to take this like once every 10 days because I muscle test every day for it. And it's like, nope, 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 over and 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 over again. And then one day it'll be like, yep. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it's my highest good to take more than one dry finger's worth. Now, what that is a dry finger on the lid. You turn it over, you turn it back over, whatever sticks to the finger, that's it. I've almost until today, every time I got a no more than one dry finger's worth. Is it my highest good to take less than one dry finger's worth? No. It is my, sorry, I put that in the form of a question. It is my highest good to take less than one dry finger's worth. No. It is my highest good to take one dry finger's worth. Yes. Okay, I do that. Today, I got to have a little pile of it in my palm, a little pile of it. Sembria is the reason that I'm going to Italy on Saturday. Okay. I share this with you to just be prepared what happens to your life when you begin to engage with the frequencies of these alchemies. And my mind wanted to say with the higher frequency versions, the higher advanced ones, that's what my mind wanted to say, but that is not the case. Because we are all relative beings and we all work with our own systems of limitation, which have always been in place as a result of our higher intelligence doing exactly what is needed to fulfill our own life evolutionary path. That intelligence is part of a webbed framework of the collective of the entire world humanity, along with, for some of us, connections to other galactic consciousnesses. So this stuff is not about like being a small human being. This is about being like the greatest. We're talking about all of the stories about the Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad. I don't care who you want to pick, Saint Germain, the ascended, if you're into the ascended masters, okay, great. That's what this stuff is about, is becoming those people, essentially becoming your version of that level of beingness. What that means is that in order to evolve to that level, you're going to have to walk through some stuff that might be extraordinarily uncomfortable. Okay. I'm in a moment on my journey where I'm 100% trusting of my intuitive nature. The intelligence of my body is telling me what to do, and I do it without question. When I follow it and I follow through with the steps that I have to walk through in order to allow that to come through my life, everything works out like freaking magic. However, it can be extraordinarily uncomfortable. most of my life, most of my adult life, I have coasted through my life without being challenged very often. Why? It's easy for me to coast through life. I don't have to do very much, and I can receive the support of life. I hardly have to do anything. I don't have to strive. I don't have to work that hard. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't in the past, but that was like ego stuff. Okay. But what I'm sharing with you is that I don't have very many moments of anxiety. I don't have very many moments of fear. I don't have very many moments where I experience a sensation in my body that says, I am not okay with this happening. I can't handle this. Okay. This stuff will bring you into connection with that layer of your being. Not just this stuff, but the currents, the lumen, the origin, the I phase, the phasics, whatever else it is that you're taking. It's going to be moving you in the direction of coming into connection with your edge. When you reach the edge, you have an opportunity to choose to either walk through what is in front of you or to hold back and wait. And I want you to understand that there is no right choice. If you choose to walk through your edge, you will find your life will transform in ways that you cannot imagine from the other side of the edge. If you choose to hold back, it's fine. Your life will not necessarily transform that day in ways that you can't imagine. At least not necessarily from that moment. And that opportunity won't necessarily leave you. It will be coming for you, just like the other alchemies are coming for you. Whatever is right for you, they're coming for you. So I want to share that with you because in order for me to go to Italy, I had to walk through some very, very deep held fears to untangle the last, what I believe and hope were the last entanglements of codependency that I have been carrying in my energy field. And when you start reaching those really deep levels, what did I feel in my body? I felt an extreme sickness in the depths of my belly. And that feeling is like, oh my God, life is going to destroy me just through this fear emotion, this emotion of fear. Like I cannot survive this feeling experience. And the way to survive the feeling experience is to either make a strong decision to step away from the edge or to make a strong decision and commit to walking through it. Either way, you will receive relief. Depending on how it goes for you, you may be happy with the result. If you're not happy with the result, that's another edge. So I just want to share that with you because I had to have one of the most challenging conversations of my life in a relationship with a woman that I really powerfully care about and truly love from the depths of my heart. But there was an aspect of the transparency of myself that wasn't fully on the table. And I had to share transparently the truth of what that was, knowing that that truth was going to be extraordinarily painful for her to hear. And it wasn't about what I was choosing to do, it was what I was experiencing. So it wasn't about me having to choose something that, was hurtful to another person. I'm not making any choices like that. I had an experience that was authentic to me, and the fact that I had that experience was going to destroy some of the expectations that she carried some of the joy of life that she was attaching to that was coming from outside of her own inner being. That's a painful process for another person to go through. And it was painful for me to force her to go through it by witnessing my truth. Of course, I can't truly force her to do anything. She could deny it, walk away, do whatever. I just knew that she wouldn't do that. I just want you to understand that when you're using these, you are going toward your own individual truth at the highest level of your being. And that if there are areas in your life that are not in resonance with that higher truth, they will need to change if you are going to live your truth. So that's what I want to share about the alchemies today. I don't say that to warn you from using them, because most of the time it's just a beautiful, beautiful ride. But I want you to have the awareness and the knowledge that says there might come a time when this is going to feel a little less beautiful and ease and filled with ease and all of the love and light stuff that we all want to have the most experience with, because it will force you at some moment to face whatever darkness is present. But they will help you walk through it, because you can't face darkness that you are not a light to shine into it. That's what you are. And you don't have to be that. When you come to that moment, you can always say, nope, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm more comfortable where I am. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The only reason you got to that edge was so that you could have that moment to make that choice. That was the perfect choice. You know? And if you get, as you get more and more and more and more in tune with your inner being, you'll know the intuition, whether or not you're going to walk through or whether you're going to step back, and you'll know it's right for you. So, any other last thoughts before I run from anyone?
John, can I ask you a quick question about dosage?
Of course.
Because I've searched on the site and looked at the little and done the QR codes and all that come with it.
Yeah.
And really all I could find is the stuff on the bottle itself, like use 3 to 20 drops.
We'll send you the muscle testing video.
Okay, so it's in that.
Use
Okay.
that. Yep.
Okay.
So the muscle testing video will go over dosage. Okay. And then, the 20-minute video that I have about alchemies is just a little bit more about my overall perspective that isn't quite as, I kind of like dove into the depths of the edges today, just because I've shared some of the other more introductory aspects of the experience. So yeah, and if you don't quite get the dosage right, it's okay. It's not like your higher self is going to condemn you. That's not what's happening here. You can't get this wrong. That's the beautiful part about all of these things. You can't make an incorrect choice. You can only make a choice that feels either more in resonance with the being who you came here to be, or less in resonance with that being. And so if we make this is beautiful thing for Purium too. If we make a mistake in our Purium business and we have some idea about what that means about us or whatever it is, all we're getting to experience is whether or not the experience that we had of learning and the judgment that we had afterwards is in resonance with the being who we came here to be. So if we feel bad about ourselves, we know that feeling bad about ourselves is not the being we came here to be, and there's something that we can release that will allow us to accept ourselves as we are. Yeah. Okay, I love you all. I'm running to my next call, so I gotta go.
Love you too, John. Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
you. Love you all.
I welcome love. I welcome harmony.